Now, an MT09, it's preferred by hooligans. I've heard a lot of people say that. But you know what? It's like other things in life. Sometimes you come across something and it brings out the best in you, or the worst in you, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. The MT09 brings out the hooligan in me. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just a hooligan. But once a year for about a month, we get to live in a world, and I just can never be overly impressed by how beautiful this part of the world is. Where I ride, there's about endless supply of lakes and back roads and low traffic. We're going to head out there right now while the leaves are changing. Now, I always consider myself very lucky, very fortunate for everything. There's so many things I don't even want to stop making a list. But one of them, not certainly at the top of the list, but somewhere in there, is to be living in this part of the country where we have these great fall days, at about 9-10 months of riding every year, and this little bit of the end of the, I don't even know what you would call it, maybe the Indian summer is the right word, at the end of the leaf season where everything still looks beautiful and it's still nice and cool, and we're going to get out on the open road today. Now, I always find it interesting how many people ride a bike and never wipe it off. I don't. How many people don't check the air in the tires or lube the chain? Well, I don't. I try to do all the maintenance before I go out on the road. I don't want to go out on a bike that there's bugs all over it or whatever. And it's just me, I know. Some people get a lot more enjoyment out of just parking a bike out in the rain and leaving it there. Anyway, for the people that enjoy a clean bike, and I happen to be one of them, it takes a minute or two before you head out for the ride. And since we're going to be having a long ride today, this should be a beautiful day. I thought it would be a good idea. Check the chain, lube the chain, get it all set to go. With the scenery the way it is now, and it's just beautiful. The temperatures are perfect. I call it flannel shirt weather, and it's not too hot, not too cold. You don't have to worry about overheating or freezing. It's just perfect. And again, I always feed the birds a little extra in the morning. And this guy lives in our feeder now. I think he pays rent there. But look at the morning this is. Wow, it's just perfect. The sky is blue, little wispy clouds, and I'm ready to get out on the open road. So I often wonder, you get on a motorcycle, no matter what kind of bike you have or where you ride, and it makes you feel a certain way. And in my case, every bike in my collection makes me feel a little bit different, from the 2-strokes up to the MT09 and of course the R1. I get a different emotional charge out of it, but this bike makes a person, anybody that I've ever let ride it, or anybody that's ever had an MT09, you know, the first thing you think of is, I'm a hooligan. I want to do a wheelie. I want to go up on a sidewalk. I want to find some, somebody pushing a baby carriage and scare them a little bit. It just brings out the worst in you. It's like when you're a kid and you have a snowball, the first thing you do is look for somebody to throw it at. It brings out the worst in you. I know that's an oversimplification, but it happens to me. And things I would never even think about. When I'm on this bike, I start thinking I'm younger, and I'm this, I'm that, and I'm a hooligan. That's the bottom line. And the quick shifter is definitely part of it. There's a lot of parts of it, but the quick shifter just makes you a little more aggressive. And I don't know what it is. The whole bike makes you more aggressive. And I guess now that I'm 79 and I can really enjoy every day, I try to get out on the open road every day for exercise. The video I posted about why I like to ride this bike instead of joining a gym, boy, did I get a lot of response to that. And guys, thanks to everybody that responds. I appreciate the comments, good and bad. We can go back and forth about who's got the best bike, or who's this, or who's that, or who's the handsomest, or whatever. But I know one thing. I really do enjoy every minute out on the road on this bike. And Karen made a funny comment one day. I came back from a ride on the MT09. She was cooking something, or I don't remember exactly what. And I said, you know, when I come back from a ride, do I look any younger than when I left? And she was stirring something in a pot, and she just looked and she said, in one word, she answered my whole question. She said, no, you're the same. But I felt different. And that's the key. If you have a motorcycle that makes you feel young and aggressive, it's working. And I wonder how other people feel if they're on a, let's say on a dirt bike. You feel like, oh my God, you feel like Spider-Man or something, jumping around and doing jumps and wheelies and everything. And I guess if you're on a real comfortable touring bike, you're kind of sedate and you're listening to your Perry Como music and all that kind of stuff. And I know when you're riding certain bikes, you tend to be, oh, I'm a big tough guy. Oh, I'm somebody I'm not. But this bike has its own little quirk. It has that thing. I don't know what it is. It feels lighter than it is. It certainly feels, I keep looking for a word. Hooligan is the only word I can come up with. And this time of the year, when I know I have the time, I try to take an extra hour of riding. Normally I do 2 or 3 hours, but anytime I can get an extra hour like today, it's just absorbing the scenery, absorbing the beautiful temperatures, and absorbing the fun of riding this bike. And trying to avoid sliding around the leaves too much. But it's just something about the bike. It makes you more aggressive than you really are. I'm not sure if that would happen with other bikes. I don't ride dirt bikes anymore, but it used to happen to me when I'd ride a dirt bike. I'd turn into Spider-Man or Batman or something. But this bike, it has that unique hooligan quality. And some of my friends like Carl, I know you have your heart in the right place. He criticizes the bike. He doesn't like the mirrors. He doesn't like the spokes. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like the color. You know what? That's okay. And it's okay. I appreciate the comments of people that don't like the bike. But it doesn't really matter because I like the bike. And that's the biggest lesson in motorcycling. Ride the bike you like. Joe Roselli came up with that. Ride the bike that you like. And if you're 79 and you're still riding and going through the quick shifter and whatever, you know what I'm talking about. This motorcycle, I'm sure, is a big factor in staying as young as you possibly can, as long as you can. And the truth is, when you get old like I am, it really doesn't matter what you do. As long as you do something, as long as the thing you don't do is sit in a lazy boy all day. Play golf, play tennis, I don't know, go arm wrestling alligators, whatever is in fun to do. But I find for me, and for a lot of my friends, just going for a long ride where you're exhausted at the end of the ride, it works for me. wish there was a way I could get across to people how light this bike feels when you ride it. I don't know how to describe that. I think about it all the time while I'm riding. How the heck did Yamaha do that? I've ridden bikes that on a scale are a lot lighter, but they feel heavy. They feel cumbersome. They're hard to turn around. They're hard to move around in the garage. This bike always feels light. And could these back roads be any more beautiful? I don't know. There is really, we are probably near the peak of the season. Probably pretty soon, one night it's going to come by and all the leaves are going to fall off. But for right now, today, this is a great day to ride. And I just love the fact that you can have all of this fun, all this excitement, and you can turn into a hooligan for a whole afternoon, and you still get, at the end of the day, you still get 50 miles to the gallon. And those 2 years I spent making this bike unique, all of those videos are out on our channel for anybody interested. When I ride around, just knowing I'm on a bike that totally suits my needs. And because Karen got me this for my 75th birthday present, there's no way I could ever even consider selling it or trading it for a Jeep or something. I don't know. But to me, it's a keeper, and it's turned out to be, in every way you can measure it, better than I ever expected. And having ABS and all the safety features, just like a cherry on a sundae. And it's a good sundae. And this day turned out so nice, I just couldn't resist taking an extra lap around the lake. And it was just right to the end of the day, it just was a beautiful day. And even on long days like this, that seat for me is very comfortable. Ergonomics, the bar is comfortable as can be. That was the ultimate decision maker when I finally committed to this bike. It's comfortable. So this was a great day to be a hooligan. We had some fun going through the gears. We had some fun lapping the lake a couple of times. We did the back roads, all the back roads in the area that I normally go on, and the day just played out so well. And it's just amazing to me in this part of the country. I never lose my perspective of how lucky I am to be living in this part of the country at this time of the year, and to have this MT09. But now, like every day, even a long day like this, it ends. It's time to get back to the farm. Well, this certainly turned out to be one of the nicest days of the year. The scenery has been great. The temperatures have been great. Bike's been running like it always runs good. It has just been the best time of the year right now. Right now, if I could put this in a bottle and send it to other parts of the world, I'd be rich. But then I wouldn't be windy. Well, I'm not that rich, but I do have, you made it to this part of the video. Hey, if you did enjoy it, hit the like button. And thanks, guys. Thanks so much for watching.